Love seeing this from ErA. Always brings a unique perspective to the game, showing people new ways to play.
Yeah, not just that, but confusing his opponents too. They never know what's going on. And you saw SjoW just unbelievable, unable to, like, he couldn't even take it. You can see he was so stressed during the last couple turns, he didn't know what was going on.
We're going to see how he reacts to it, because game number 2 is getting underway right now. Is ErA going to bring another crazy strategy, and can SjoW handle it? He's down 1-0 in this match. ErA just kind of running it back here. SjoW, he's swapped over to handlock. He feels like this is going to be better equipped. He's like, you know what? You want to play these cute strategies that handle the early game very well? Can you deal with turn 4 Twilight Drake?
Yeah, can you deal with gigantic minions on the reg or on the cheap and just get to draw extra cards almost every turn as well? Because his life total, he gets to play around with it quite a bit in this game.
Yeah, well, I can tell you what, with Polymorph in hand, he can handle the first one, but he's got to be able to handle the ones after that, and there's that second one already.
Ooh, Dread Infernal in here too.
That's going to signal Void Callers in this deck as well. I mean, Dread Infernal actually pretty decent on its own too. You know, something that works super well against is Dr. Boom. You roll into turn 9, you can Dread Infernal away the Dr. Boom tokens, and then Big Game Hunter the 7-power body.
That's a Frost Nova in ErA's hand. Do you think there's a chance he kind of switched decks a little bit here? I switched Central Focus.
It's so exactly how ErA likes to play. You know, it's a deck that was going to look very similar to the one he just played. But looking at this hand and seeing the way it is, this is very, very easily an Echo Mage deck in potential here.
Now ErA does have a Polymorph here, but this is the kind of hand from SjoW that can run away with this game quickly.
Yeah, I think he actually may just coin out the Sledge Belcher here. It presents a lot of problems for what's going on. It is going to Polymorph, though. So just comfortable fighting against any future threats. He says Mountain Giant is a big problem. Even goes upstairs with this Mad Scientist. What does SjoW think of that? Like, this is such a clean attack, I feel like.
Yeah, maybe SjoW's worried about, maybe ErA, switched up into, Freeze Mage here and just trying to get the damage in and finish this off very quickly later in the game.
SjoW's hand, it just gets better and better.
So much heat coming this game. He's going to be able to finish this one off very quickly.
Oh, wow, what a draw from ErA. You know, this is also one of the reasons why I think he should have been picking off his sheep, is potential to draw Sylvanas. Not even going to play it here, though, just going to bide his time. Sheep finally gets picked off. But now, what does SjoW think of this right now? Like, where does he see this hand going?
I think SjoW just has to get as aggressive as possible. You have seen Polymorph out of his deck, but there's not a lot of removal spells that cleanly answered numerous 8/8s after 8/8s, and I would just be pushing the pressure into ErA here.
I totally agree with you. And I think that's something ErA might be waiting for, too. Obviously values the coin very high, but I think, if he sees another threat hit the board, suddenly Sylvanas has to be answered by an Ironbeak Owl. It's not a matter of just simply trading at that point.
Yeah, I mean, SjoW does have a little bit of game against Sylvanas here. He does have a Siphon Soul in his deck. If it does take an 8/8, he does have a way to check killing an 8/8 on the other side of the board, but doesn't feel good.
No, that's a stinger. And so Lotheb's going to come in here, wants to shut off stuff like Frostbolt and Fireball.
Yeah, it's a big tempo play here from SjoW as well.
But it's going to be checked straight away. Sylvanas, if SjoW does not pick up an Ironbeak Owl here, this Sylvanas is going to be monstrous on this game.
Yeah, Ragnaros added to ErA's hands the card that carried him to his victory here in Game 1.
Just continues to chip away at life total. I'm curious if ErA should be being a little bit more patient with the life in this game, because it feels like he's fighting a grind battle right now. Like, if he doesn't give SjoW access to Molten Giants, he's got the game basically just locked up.
Yeah, I agree with you there. There's some time earlier in the game, a couple of turns ago, where I was wondering, should ErA even be attacking here? Should he picked off the sheep a little bit earlier, would have allowed him to just slam the Sylvanas. But, he has 2 Frostbolts in his hand and a Ragnaros. If he falls super far behind, you may see him just, YOLO this Ragnaros and try to win from there.
That certainly is a way to win, is just, straight up damage. You can never discount damage.
Yeah, SjoW's going to do a lot of it to himself.
And this spot, I mean, this is looking dreadful for SjoW right now. I mean, how does he deal with this Sylvanas? This is just an absolute moment of terror on his side of the board right now.
All right, so I'm trying to think, what happens if you Lotheb into the Slime and then run the Mountain Giant into the Sylvanas, letting him get the Lotheb, and then you guys can develop another 8/8 here?
Just give him a 5/4? That's so
I think you just push for damage here, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. And
ErA... It's not duplicate there, so, ErA a little lucky not to get another duplicate out of his deck when he has just a Slime.
Yeah. Frost Nova going to be able to give him a lot of time on this board position, though.
Yeah, huge tempo play here.
Even a duplicate coming in. I mean, he's looking for all the value in this game. This is not a comfortable spot for SjoW.
Yeah, when you think about players that love value, you think about ErA.
Yep. This is, oh god, it's so tough. He's one, if Loatheb had one more damage on it, this would be a clean Hellfire turn almost. But, you know, does he even want to Hellfire this spot? It's just, this is the kind of stuff that Sylvanas will do to games. And I feel like this is ErA's spirit animal. Sylvanas, like, crazy stuff is going to happen, and you're going to be the one that has to adjust to it. Not only that, my crazy build.
Yeah, it's Sylvanas and Ragnaros. Anything with, like, you know, some sort of random game-altering play,
Yeah.
you know, something that's a giant random thing that just completely changes the face of the game. That's ErA in a nutshell.
Yeah, and he's looking to manipulate those kinds of effects. And frankly, he is one of the best I've seen at doing that, which is finding spots to leverage the random where it doesn't matter the outcome or the result on it. Both of them are good for you.
So what is SjoW taking so long with here?
It's just, there's not a good play here. All of these plays look very ugly right now.
Do you just play an 8-8?
It's possible, but it cannot be a good feeling. I think he wants to minimize the impact that Sylvanas can have here, and he's absolutely going to get punished for it. Oh my gosh. That is a huge draw from ErA right now. He's cleaning the whole board. He's going to end with a Sylvanas in play. SjoW has to deal with the Sylvanas before he can play a threat, and ErA's got to duplicate sitting out.
Yeah, if you're having a problem dealing with just one Sylvanas at this point in the game, how are you going to deal with two more?
And he's got Frostbolts to back it up too, so he can buy the tempo he needs to take advantage of that as well.
If he gets another attack in with a Sylvanas, SjoW goes to 8, and he has a Ragnaros in his hand already.
This is the situation that ErA was looking for, putting SjoW in the most uncomfortable position possible.
Now, SjoW does have a pretty clean turn here. He can Siphon Soul into a Molten Giant. And, I mean, oh, I'm sorry, actually he can't because, you know, he'd gain life. Oh, man.
Yeah. Hellfire and double Molten Giant is the play here. He's got to start trying to end the game.
And again, is this counterspell?
That's actually an excellent point. That's counterspell. This play does not work. Gosh, what a tough spot.
ErA just putting it to SjoW here. Turn after turn, game after game.
This is the moment of truth right here. This is counterspell. This is a blowout.
It's just so much fun to call games of ErAs.
Gosh, that's a sigh of relief for SjoW at this point.
Now does SjoW think he may have gotten got the last game since it wasn't counterspell?
That's definitely a possibility. I mean, this is the kind of problem with pushing the pressure from ErA's perspective, is that these kinds of turns become possible. Like, can ErA realistically recover this spot?
No, this is going to be, I think, a little bit too much for him to recover from. He's going to be able to make, you know, Sylvanas. Oh, that's lethal.
That is actually lethal. What a draw.
Yeah, he needed
from
to draw
ErA
a fireball
in this
there.
spot, and he's able to pick up game number 2. You know, this is the benefit of pushing pressure at this point, is that sometimes you just got the damage to end them off. ErA taking a 2-0 lead here now over the top seed in HPL.
Yeah, and he needed to draw something there. I mean, he could have healed up a little bit there, but SjoW actually had lethal on the board already that turn, so he needed to either heal or draw away to kill SjoW right there.